that tonight's gonna be a good night.
America, at America Trends, we only talk about what your social media says is trending. Let's get right back to it. Woo! Joining us from somewhere in America is the host of this show, my favorite guest in the whole wide world, Dr. Gina. Oh my
Barry.
gosh. Are you kidding me?
You know, I had to try to surprise you somehow, Mary, and I knew that maybe like a swim-up tiki bar pool with swings. I'm hoping that in your new house that you're putting in Hawaii, that you're naming the Loudon Wing. I'm pretty sure that that's what you're calling. Or maybe
true.
it's just the Dr. Gina Wing. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that you're going to put in a pool with a tiki bar, and it needs to have swings. That's all.
Okay, but I'm not sure about the camera hookup to the pool and the tiki bar. Is that an auxiliary option, or that's just for you when you visit?
I think that you should keep it permanently so you can come on America Trends a lot, because we're
Okay.
going to need you. We're going to want you on the show a lot.
I'm
by your
I'm
pool
ready.
with the swings and the tiki bar.
So, is it a fair question to say, have you seen any TV? Do you know what happened at the convention at all?
All I have done is read political news and watch political TV, Barry. That's all I've done on this trip is read political. No,
not buying it. Not buying it. I'm not buying it.
But I have paid attention, and I'm ready for whatever you have to throw at me.
Okay, so I'll tell you what. I'll ask you questions that, based on your vast political knowledge, will be softballs. Okay. Okay. So all right, let's start off with this one because I just talked about it with my last guest. ISIS has not come up at the convention. In fact, foreign policy has virtually been ignored. Is that an expectation that you had because they really got nothing on foreign policy?
Well, they can't bring up ISIS. They can't bring up foreign policy, Barry, because that would automatically indict Hillary in the minds of Americans. I mean, she's been a part of what has made ISIS strong. You have to remember that when she came in, Barry, ISIS was not a household word, right? We didn't hear about the terrorist tragedies we hear about now. As Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton has ushered in these rogue regimes. This has happened again and again, along with the aid of Barack Obama, who also endorses her. And so the thing is, they can't really bring it up. But here's what I do know. Here I am in Lake Ozark, Missouri. I am in the heartland right now. I mean, this is really God's country. This is the Bible Belt, really. It's the South, essentially. It's the Midwest, but it's very Southern. And I can tell you that I'm talking to people all day long, and all they can say to me is, you're voting for Trump, right? They don't want to be labeled Republican or Democrat. Many of them were for Barry originally just because they saw him as the biggest outsider, which is kind of funny because he's really not an outsider. But now they are all on board with Donald Trump, and it's for reasons like this. Many of them have friends who served in the military. Many of them have friends who knew people who died in Benghazi, or they see themselves as parents of children who could possibly be left like our fighters were in Benghazi. And so they want no part of a regime that leaves Americans with no defense. And I think this is, and when you look at things like ISIS, Barry, and you realize that was not a word we'd ever heard before Hillary was Secretary of State, you realize that maybe she shouldn't be trusted with the presidency.
Yeah, I for the life of me, I can't figure out how they're going to sell the Obama foreign policy that Hillary is part of making and continuing, which for all intents and purposes, Gina, would be the third term of Obama's foreign policy. And it's been a phenomenal failure to the point of they're the cause of ISIS, unless it's, hey, don't look over there, let's talk about gun violence.
Yes, they want to change the topic, and they've tried very hard to change the topic, but I'm not sure it's really resonating with Americans, Barry. I mean, most people know that the whole hands up, don't shoot didn't actually really ever happen, although the media, especially the alphabet soup media, has never really tried to get that message out there that, hey, this whole hands up, don't shoot thing didn't actually happen. And then so Hillary has family members of these people come to the convention as though it actually really happened. But see, you'd have to buy into the initial lies, the lies after that, the fantasies after that, and the payoffs after that. And you need to remember at some point in all of this that this is the same woman who has made multiple $1 million speeches for millions and millions of dollars. And in turn, I mean, we don't know in turn, but we know that she's done some pretty shady things for some of these rogue governments, including not the least of which is, of course, selling uranium to Russia. And so you have to look at those things. Even Bill has made speeches to those governments. You have to look at those things and say, what's reality here? And I think Americans are at a place where they're asking the hard questions.
Well, one of the hard questions that got ignored last night was former President Clinton gave this very long, bizarre speech about maybe future President Clinton. And he talked about, and I talked about this in the opening tonight, Gina, it was so weird. It was about how he sort of stalked Hillary for a long time in school to get her to go out with him, and how she looked then, and her hair, and her glasses, and she was sexy. Is Bill gonna be a help, or is Bill gonna be an albatross around her? He doesn't have the juice he used to have when he was the Democratic Party.
I don't know. You know, if you look at Hillary Clinton's policy, it is completely opposite of what Bill Clinton's policy was. So it's got to be a real issue. Can you imagine sitting around the dinner table as if they ever have, ever? I don't think they have. But can you imagine the conversation where he's like, you know, you're gonna any free market thrown in there, and Hillary like, oh no, I think I'm gonna be socialist because I want to be more like Bernie. I mean, these conversations can't be pretty. And the thing about it is that Bill Clinton is known for one thing and one thing only, and that is this womanizing. So it would be better for Bill if he were just like the quiet, stay in the background kind of a guy, because every single time that he goes ahead and tosses his mop out there, I have a feeling that Donald Trump's going to sweep him right up with it. And that's, I think, what's happened so far. And I think it's going to continue to happen. The interesting thing, too, to me, Bernie, is the disarray within the Democrat Party. I didn't expect this. Just to be completely honest with you, I did not expect Hillary to be booed off stage virtually every single time she walks on stage. I didn't expect Debbie Wasserman Schultz to be gone. I didn't expect Bill Clinton to make such a just erroneous speech. It's fascinating.
Well, I'll tell you what, I thought about it all day when we were coming up with today's poll question, Gina. And so I put in whether or not the Democrats are going to leave Philadelphia united, especially what happened, the Bernie people, for all intents and purposes, bolting the party and running out onto the convention floor, booing every time there were Clinton policies being introduced. And of course, the Wasserman Schultz leaks under Debbie's leadership and Hillary's leadership. You vote right now in the poll publicly in front of your audience. Do they come out of that convention more united?
I don't think so, and here's why. As I was leaving the Republican convention, and I was stopping at truck stops along the highway to give an opportunity to free fuel, whatever, grab ice, whatever, and I kept talking.
We've lost Gina in the pool, but boy, I wish we had more time with her. Coming back, America Trends. Go vote.